All right. Good morning, friends. Hello, warriors. We're on here, but just going to take just a second, let people hop on, do some testing, things like that. Make sure you can hear me, though it looks like hopefully you can. Yay. Love it when sound and everything works the way it's supposed to the first time. Although my waiting screen for some reason went away on me. So my technology gremlins have struck again. But that's okay. We made it work. We're here. It is Sunday morning. So if you are here, thank you so much for being flexible with me. I had another event yesterday. So this week's mini writing retreat just moved to Sunday. So maybe that even works for some of you who can't always make Saturday work. So if Sundays are a better day and you're here and you're like, yes, this works way better for me, let me know and we can be flexible. Maybe some days we do it on Sundays. So just let me know. I want to make sure I am creating space at times that work for you. So I pick times that work for me if I don't know, and then we can always be flexible and move around depending on your schedule. So whenever you hop on, say, hey, let me know you're here. Unless we're, doing some yoga, then you can wait. And I'll kind of explain what we're going to get up to here in the next few minutes. Let's give time for folks to hop on and then we will get started. So first off, we're going to do a quick little yoga flow. Quick, easy. I say easy. Easy is relative, kind of depending on your body. I try to keep it as simple and beginner friendly as possible. You are welcome to participate. You are welcome to skip it. If you don't feel comfortable doing any of the things we're doing, you can always just sit and breathe, taking big, deep inhales through the nose and big exhales through the mouth can help wake up the brain and get you ready to create. So that is just as helpful as some of the movements we'll do. You can always just stand in mountain pose, just like this. A nice active stance is really great to wake up the body, create long lines for energy to flow. So you can personalize your yoga flow in any way that works for you. Good morning, Angelique. And make it work, or you can follow along with me. So we're going to do some yoga and then it'll be very short, very quick. And then after that, we will sit down and we will take that creative energy that we just cultivated and create. We'll do 3 25-minute writing sprints. I will throw a prompt up on the screen and I will set a timer and we'll write. Dedicate time to fighting for our creativity, which is what being a creative warrior is all about. So that's the breakdown of how this is going to work. If this is your first time joining, if you're new here, welcome. So we're going to start our yoga flow here. We're actually going to start seated. You don't need a mat as long as you have a nice surface that will be kind to your body. You do not need a mat, so don't let that be a barrier if you want to follow along and are worried. You don't even need to be wearing yoga clothes. Comfy clothes work, something you can just kind of move around in a little bit. So if you're still in your PJs, that's fine. We're going to start cross-legged, which first thing in the morning might be difficult. It is a little difficult for me. So if you want to spread your legs out in front of you, that works. You can make your cross-legged as wide as you need to, meaning set your feet out in front of you. You can put your heels, flats of your feet together and sit like that if that's more comfortable. The point is, sit in a way that works for you. And then we're just going to take a moment to kind of come into our bodies, start paying attention to the breath, Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And start to really bring our focus there instead of anything that might be happening around us. Sunday mornings maybe tend to be a little slower than Saturday mornings, so maybe it's a little easier for you today to really fall into the sound of your breath. Just let anything else kind of fall away. You can rest your hands on your knees if that works for you, or down by your sides. You can even go palms up if you'd like to practice a little mudra, if you are familiar with those and have one that works for you. And then we're going to bring attention to our posture. We're going to be aware of stacking our head over our heart and our heart over our pelvis. So that just means we are sitting straight. Basically, we're not hunched over or kind of relaxed like we might be throughout the day at our desks, but we are reaching the top of our head toward the ceiling. We are pulling our shoulders down away from our ears, our shoulder blades together toward each other behind our backs, pulling the belly button up and back to create a little activation in the core area to support the rest of the body, pressing our sits bones into the mat. You can even maybe let the knees get a little heavy, fall toward the mat. Probably not going to touch. Mine certainly don't. Not right now. I don't think they ever have, but it's just a feeling of letting the legs be heavy. And then we're just going to take a couple breaths here in this really active posture, in through the nose and out through the mouth. On the inhale through the nose, really paying attention to the way the chest expands. If you haven't taken a deep breath in a while, it might feel really, really good. It might even feel like a muscle that hasn't been worked in a while. Exhale through the mouth, really sigh it out. Don't be afraid to be a little loud. All the while paying attention to, if you start kind of relaxing and letting go of that posture, just come right back into it. And an exhale, maybe even, or on an inhale, maybe even lengthening the spine, stretching the top of the head up toward the ceiling again, really inviting length through the back of the neck. And on the exhale, letting the shoulders fall and relax again away from the ears. All right, we'll take one more deep inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. And then we're going to add some movement. So go ahead and let that right hand fall to the mat beside you if it's not there already. And on the inhale, we'll lift the left arm up toward the sky, fingertips reaching toward the ceiling, core still engaged. And on the exhale, reach the left arm up and over to the right side of the mat, bending that right elbow, pressing that left knee toward the mat, that left buttock into the mat, stretching through the left side body. And inhale, back towards center. Exhale, let that left hand fall. Inhale, reach up with the right, reaching through the fingertips. And exhale, reaching up and over to the left side of the mat with the right fingertips, pressing the right knee toward the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, let that right hand fall. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reach for the sky with the left hand. Exhale, reaching up and over, bending at the waist, bending that right elbow. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the left hand. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, reaching up and over. Inhale, back to center. exhale, let that right hand fall. And maybe take the fingertips and stretch the fingertips out as wide as you can and keeping the fingertips on the mat to either side of you here. And then keeping that length through the body, that head over heart, heart over pelvis, we're just going to start walking the hands behind us a little bit at a time, keeping the body centered, only walking your fingers as far as you can behind you while still keeping your body over your center, your head over your heart, pressing the sits bones into the mat. And the mat, it's really going to help open through the shoulders, open through the chest, maybe even pulling a little bit if your fingertips are on the ground, using the fingertips to pull the shoulders open just a little bit more. And release. And before we move to the hands and knees, we'll just do a nice little twist here. We'll bring the left hand to the right knee, right arm behind us, again, kind of like we were doing before, the fingertips on the floor. And you can stay here, just looking kind of to your side, or you can look over that right shoulder, maybe inviting a little more of a twist. Again, pressing the right knee toward the earth, the left knee toward the earth, trying to keep that head over heart, heart over pelvis. It may be tempting to lean back to try to lean into the twist, but we don't want to lean into the twist. We want to twist into the twist. So twisting at the waist, gazing out over that right shoulder, reaching back with our right hand. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, maybe lengthening through the spine. And exhale, release. Bring the right hand over to the left knee, the left hand behind us, gazing out over the left shoulder, or just to the left, out over the mat. Looking over that left shoulder, walking the left hand behind you, twisting at the waist. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale, maybe lengthen through the spine. And exhale back to center. We're just going to start to walk or to move onto all fours. It's a tabletop position, so slowly, easy, however you'd like to get there. And when we're there, we're going to press the tops of the feet into the mat. Align the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. A nice neutral spine here, so the top of the head is kind of just facing out in front of you, gazing down at the mat between our fingers here, not letting our heads hang, but also not like inviting a bend quite yet. It's nice neutral, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat, maybe even pushing up away from the mat through those shoulder blades, rounding through the top of the back, the shoulder blade area, pulling the belly button up and back toward the spine. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, start to move through some cat-cows, lifting the chin, dropping the belly, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the pelvis so that the tailbone is trying to touch the back of the head. It's just the motion. And exhale, drop the chin, rounding through the back, pressing away from the mat. Sorry if my microphone's right by my face right now. Rounding the back, dropping the head, bringing the chin to the chest, pelvis pulling forward now, almost toward the top of the mat. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin. And start to move at your own pace with your own breath. Whatever feels good to you. If you want to hang out in one pose a little longer. Moving with the rhythm. Your own breath and body, listening to what your body needs. stretching through the spine. It's really great to do first thing in the morning. If your back's kind of tight and sore when you wake up. All right, finishing kind of the round wherever you are. Coming back to a neutral spine. And from here, we're just going to lift. Maybe give yourself a little more space here. Come up onto your fingertips. We're just going to bring that right foot up between the hands. Nothing fancy. Give it some room. Give it some space. Adjust that back knee a little bit. So now the right foot is between the hands and the fingertips are balanced on the mat. We're just going to inhale, lifting the chest away from the knee, coming into a low lunge. If you can always pull that left knee back a little farther if you need more of a stretch here, totally up to you. Make it your own. Using the core to really pull yourself up and away. Stacking that right knee over that right ankle. Pulling that right hip back so that the hips are even. So pulling that right hip back, you might actually feel it through the left side. Here, the left hip area, hip flexors. You can have the hands on the waist, or if you feel comfortable, you can reach up overhead. Take an inhale. And on an exhale, we're just going to dip the hips a little lower. So we're keeping the top of the body long, and we're just bending that front knee to let the hips fall forward just a little bit. It's a really subtle movement. Inhale and exhale. And on an inhale, reach the fingertips up. Maybe even invite a little bit of a back bend here. And moving with the breath, exhale, drop the hands down in front of us to either side of the right foot. If you want to very quickly, you can lift that back leg for a little bit of a more intense stretch here. In our runner's lunge, or you can stay right here. And eventually we're just gonna, nothing fancy, bring that right foot back to our tabletop. And then bring the left foot up between the hands, and we're just gonna do the same thing. So adjust that back knee as needed based on how much of a stretch you'd like here. Hands are on either side of that left foot. Inhale, lift the body away from the knee using the core to kind of lift us up. Engage the core, pulling the belly button up and back. Hands can be on the waist. Adjusting the hips, pulling the left hip back this time to really keep those hip points even, shining forward. You can have the hands on the waist or up. You can always walk that left foot forward a little more if you're here and want more of a stretch. You can inhale, and on an exhale, we're just going to dip those hips a little lower, keeping the core engaged. Try not to put all the weight into your lower back. You don't want the lower back to do all the supporting here. So really engaging the thighs, the core. Reaching up through the fingertips will help kind of give that impression that you're pulling away from the body. You're not dumping everything into the lower back. Inhale and exhale. And then on an inhale, maybe inviting a little bit of a back bend. Reaching up and back. And exhale. Drop the hands forward. You can come up, lift that back knee if you'd like for just a quick runner's lunge. And dropping that right knee, bringing the left foot back. This time we're going to bring the knees together and drop the bum back toward the heels. Coming into a child's pose. You can stretch the arms out in front of you or bring them to the sides. We're not going to rest too long because we want to keep the energy moving. But maybe take a couple solid breaths here. Sorry, it puts my face right by the microphone. And slowly, when you feel ready, I'm going to move. You don't have to quite yet. I just don't want to have my face right in the mic. We're going to start to move, switch positions, move into the next phase of our little writing retreat here. So hopefully your body's feeling a little more awake, a little more loose. You can always take a couple more movements, whatever feels good to you from here. And then we are going to slowly kind of make our way. Well, I'm going to make my way to my desk, to my setup. You can do the same. Grab some water, grab some coffee, whatever you need. And we will meet back in just a couple of minutes and we will start creating. So thank you so much for practicing. If you were practicing along with me, now let's take that energy and do a little creating. I'm going to mute for just a few moments while I get settled, and we'll be right back. Nope, I was not muted. All right. Perfect. I think I'm back, and I don't think I was muted, but that's okay. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. Still, after I switched microphones, gotta wait for my delay. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I think I'm back, and I don't think I was muted, but that's... We're back. You can hear me. We're good. If you're not quite ready yet, it's okay. Don't rush. Give you a second here to get back, get going. I'll just start, explaining how things are going to go. If you're here, say hello again in the chat. Let us know what you're working on. So I am rereading my novel. I got some feedback, but before I jump into the feedback, it's been a really long time since I've actually read the whole thing through. So that's what I'm doing. I am reading the whole thing through. I did go through the notes I got back. So I have those in my head. So now I'm reading through kind of with those in mind, like what can I do? Or how can I make this work based on the feedback? What feedback do I like and want to take, and which do I not? So that's what I'm working on. But if you're not working on anything specific, I am going to throw up a prompt here. And if you're just feeling stuck on a new project or stuck in your current project, you can always use the prompts to kind of get you going if you're stuck on a scene or anything like that.
So we're going to throw up the prompt. Stop saying throw up the prompt. Put up the prompt. An old guitar leaned in the corner. So if that inspires anything, if you see something happening in your brain that can help you maybe where you are in your current project or inspire something new. There you go. That is the prompt that you can work with this morning. You can take it or leave it, but we're going to put it up and throw up the prompt. I have it there for you. Working on revising some Flash. Awesome. There's a lot of Flash I want to be revising now too, but I really gotta, my novel is my focus. So perfect. And then we're going to put up a timer for 25 minutes. So 25-minute sprints. Usually get about 3 in. Depending on how much or how little I talk. Actually, we always get 3 in, but let's not change that now. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the timer. I also have the timer on the screen, but I also will set a little timer to kind of keep me accountable. Because even when it's on the screen, if I get too engrossed, I will not pay attention. So 25 minutes to work on your project. We will check back in after, see how things went. If you hit any challenges while you're writing, feel free to chat in the chat about what you're working on, any challenges you might be facing. We're here. That's why we do this, so you can connect with other creators who might understand your challenges. So here we go. We're going to put up 25 minutes starting now. All right, friends, that is the end of our first sprint. Don't worry, there are more. If you're just joining, I noticed somebody saying they really needed a sprint, so perfect. That's why we're here. But don't worry, if you came on toward the end of that one, we've got a couple more. So, yeah, let us know how it went in the comments, how the sprint went, if you had any challenges you want to chat about. The downside of me rereading my manuscript is I'm getting to the end and all the emotional things. So I get to get all misty-eyed on camera. But thanks for the words of encouragement, Angelique. I really don't mind crying. It's just kind of a funny situation to be here reading my own words that are making me cry while I'm on camera. So at least I know they're probably good, right? If they're making me cry. So that's where I am. Getting toward the end of my manuscript, the reread. We'll probably actually finish it today, and then I'll be able to jump back to the beginning and try to figure out how I'm going to organize some of these changes. So how are you doing? Let us know in the comments. Yeah, I'm going to have to get rid of a prologue. Well, not get rid, but I need to fix my prologue. So it's going to be rough. I'm going to be sad. But it's got to be done. I can definitely see where I can get rid of some things and clean some things up. So I'm gonna have to get rid of some stuff that I didn't want to get rid of, but it happens. So I'm going to start another sprint. We will write for another 25 minutes. Again, you can chat in the chat. And then we've got time for 2 more. So we'll start another sprint here, see how that goes, and check in again after another 25 minutes. So feel free to use the prompt like I mentioned. If you're stuck, I need something to get going, get your brain going. Awesome stuff. Finished her edit. Love it. Love seeing things getting done. I'm going to finish my reread. Boom. We're on a roll. So here we go. Another 25 minutes. On the clock, starting now. All right, that is the end of our second writing sprint of the day of this session. We will have time for one more. I'm going to do my little PSA section here before we jump into our last sprint. Something on my shirt. Oh, it's probably from when I was crying and wipe my face. So glam. I'm going to do my PSA for all the things that I have coming up that I think could be helpful for you all. So we do this every other week. It is usually on Saturday. So let me know if Sundays work better for some of you. It's tough. I can't always, make it work for everyone, but every once in a while we can do, a Sunday one instead of a Saturday. So let me know. So the next one will be, since they're every other week, it'll be, on another Saturday. I don't know the dates. But I'll have it up on my channel. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe because I put all the upcoming live events on there. So our next live is not on my calendar, will be the 8th. Yeah, the 8th. And I go live every Wednesday. Sorry, this is probably really boring just hearing me work out these things. And I go live every Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern time. And we just write for an hour. Dedicate time to our creativity first thing in the morning before the rest of the world comes knocking on the door and says, hey, you need to do this, you need to take the kids, you need to go to work. Hopefully we get a little writing time in before all of that starts happening. So 7:30 to 8:30 every Wednesday, and then another writing session on a Saturday, another writing, mini writing retreat. Saturday, April 8th will be our next one. So there you go. Those are the upcoming things. I also have some links I'll throw in the comments if you're interested. I have some prompts, 30 days of prompts I can put in the comment section for you if you'd like that. And if you're interested in learning more about the novel that has been making me cry this entire time, I'm hoping to publish that by the end of the year, and you can sign up for my newsletter to get updates on specifics about that, like when exactly it will be coming out. So yeah, I'll put lots of links in the comments before we end here. I see that Sundays only work for Angelique right now. That is totally fair. So we'll definitely try to work in some Sunday sessions as well in our live calendar. So, but let's jump in to our third and final sprint of the day. So if you've been here sprinting, thanks so much for joining. Hopefully things are going well, even if things seem really rough right now. Angelique, I know you said you took a long break, so totally understandable that what you might come up with is going to feel really rough. So just keep going. And everything always starts out really rough. So, but you can't edit a blank page, right? You can't publish a blank page. So you got to get the rough stuff down first. So yeah, keep throwing in the comments if you've got anything you want to talk through, sift through, anything like that. Yay! I will definitely throw that link in the comments so you can learn more. And all I will say right now is it is a Neverland adventure. So it takes place in Neverland because I love Peter Pan and Hook and all that. So, and it will put a female character as the main character in that world. I know there was Wendy, but It's all Lost Boys, right? Lost Boys and Peter and Hook and pirates. They're all a bunch of men. So I'm putting a female in there, and it's called The Lost Girl. So that's all I'll say. Anywho, you got me talking about it. So let's sprint. Let's do our last sprint. Obviously, we can keep chatting in the chat. But I'm going to stop talking and distracting anybody that might want to start writing. We're going to, not get rid of the prompt. Start 25 minutes, starting now. All right, friends, that is the end of our final sprint, our third and final sprint, and the end of our session for today. So thank you guys so much for joining. I hope it was helpful. I hope these sessions are helpful for you. I hope the yoga helped get your brain and body moving, and that it inspired some good ideas. If not, whole pieces or anything, at least, some good ideas. And if nothing happened, at least you were in the chair, right? You dedicated time to your creativity, and that is what matters. So that is the point of these sessions. That is the point of the creative warrior path to a more creative life. It's all about fighting for your creativity. And even if you don't make the progress you want to make, you're still putting in the effort. So that's what a creative warrior does. We fight for our creativity. So thank you for fighting with me today. The next time we'll be on and live is Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 8:30 Eastern time. And then we'll be back in a couple of Saturdays. So all that will be on the page in the live section. You can find all that there. If it's not there yet, it will be. I will put it there, I swear. So that's all I got for you. Thanks for sitting and watching me cry while I got a little emotional working. And thanks for fighting for your creativity. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and week, and I hope to